Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United.
Remember the comment you made?
I got some bars to these.
Run Ryan.
And everything, you have players out there.
I think the fellas were taking more serious.
What grade?
That one had to go.
Yes, because at the end of the day, right now, Manchester United are
Welcome everyone. Welcome fellas and welcome to all. Earlier, another shocking performance, and I think these have become the norm, and I think we come to expect them to say the least, and if we honest with ourselves, it was a deserved defeat, right? And again, after a step forward with the result against Chelsea, steps backward yet again. Right now, fellas, and we would have been talking throughout the day after the game, and I don't normally be, this manager in, manager out thing. But I remember saying, right, that the level of patience and grace that this manager had, right, he used up all that last season. I remember saying it, right? And I said that to say this, right? Quite frankly, I do not see it ever working under Amorim. But that's just my opinion. I'm not seeing where the club going to sack him. But for me, I reached the point where he got to go. Right? We have quality in our team. Right? But Mr. Amorim is not getting the best out of them in this 3-4-3 week. We are transitioned on so easily, fellas. It is a joke. Ruben Amorim is not getting the best out of his players. And if he can't do the job, fellas, then he needs to go. Imagine, right? We play with 5 defenders, plus Ugarte, who's a defensive-minded midfielder, and this team still cannot defend. Imagine spending over 200 million on 3 forwards, right? But this team cannot attack. It has no cohesion, no invention, and we're still struggling for goals. Every single measure of Ruben Amorim's tenure has been so bad. It's catastrophic. And I'm going to say something tongue-in-cheek here, fellas, right? It's amazing how much work and how much improvement you could make with a full week of training, to prepare for Brentford. Brentford! All right, so that was my little rant, and we got a rant segment, fellas, right? Because I know all the fellas have plenty to say as well, right? But I just need earlier to I want to bring this to the fore because I figure in the rant it will come out. But I really want this to get some discussion and some airtime, some focused discussion on airtime, right? Because this has been an ongoing discussion where this team is concerned, right? Now, after the game, this was the comments from the manager. He said, it is always the same. When we win, it is not the system. When we lose, it is the system. So, fellas,
When we does win.
Well, basic, chef, this is it. This is it. You know what, fellas? Well, let's start all around. Go through.
Good night, everybody. It's been a while. I hope everyone is doing well. I have been busy, but to be honest, I'll be real honest, tell you, I have no zeal to talk about Manchester. So, yeah, that's basically it. But Kareem is my boy, so I will make it tonight. But sure, Manchester is shit. Full stop. Not much more to add.
Well, I'm back. I was away for about 17 days, and
You had that time. Is where else in Colombia or Ecuador?
look at the jersey I got on, Colombia.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed,
Nope.
and waking up at there's a difference being on vacation when you're waking up at 7:30 to go on an excursion versus waking up at 7:30 on a weekend to watch Manchester United. It's totally different because when you're on vacation and you're waking up at 7:30, you know that something good is about to happen, or you're going somewhere where you're going to have some fun. We're waking up at 7:30 to watch Manchester United this weekend. You might as well just go back to sleep. And new season, same old shit. No, I mean, you mentioned that you're not for sacking managers, and you're not gonna maybe jump on the wagon of Amorim outright, but you have to ask the people who are Amorim in. Do they see any progress happening in the near future? One, and two, what has to change, right? Maybe they know better than us, but I'm willing to listen to those guys, right? But at the end of the day, I don't think that there are certain players that will have a future at this club, and I think Kobe Manu is one of them, based on the amount of game time he's getting. And I hope to not say this, but if we come back after the international break, let's say it's the middle of October or coming on to the end of October, and every single game between now and the end of October, Lenny Euro has to come off of the bench, I will say that his future may look bleak as well at Manchester United. It's kind of, you as a Manchester United fan don't feel connected to Manchester United anymore, right? Any goals or any goal that we scored cannot be replicated. You cannot tell the pattern of play that will come when it comes to us scoring a goal, right? You line up the amount of goals we've scored this season, and they're all different, right? I would rather us be predictable in scoring goals from a certain player or a certain set of players than to hope, right? Then let's get to in-game management, where as you guys have already seen with regards to some of the changes he's made when it comes to these games. Chasing a game for a goal and you're bringing on a defender, I have no idea why he's doing that. One, and two, still chasing a game, but you still have 5 defensive-minded players on the pitch. You got to ask yourself a question: why can we see that and he can't see that, right?
And we still conceding, I feel.
Yeah, and we still conceding. That's the hurtful part, right? And what I don't like about Ruben Amorim's is that he's so stubborn, right? And you know who was stubborn? Well, Gunnar Solskjaer was stubborn, and that got him sacked, right? Ruben Amorim, if you heading down that same road of being stubborn, you will get sacked. The writing could be on the wall already. No. People ask me, who do we replace him with? The names that are being thrown out there are the Crystal Palace manager, Oliver Glasner. He seems to be playing the exact same system that Ruben Amorim is playing and getting the job done, right? There are other names on there, I'm sure, but only the board can decide. It's also frustrating. Let's say we had gotten a draw today. Based on other results today, we would have been at least proud to say we got a point today. But nope, Brentford carved us open without no Mbemo, no Ivan Tony, no Wissa, no Thomas Frank at the wheel. A guy who is 6 games into his Brentford managerial career. He was a set piece coach before. So you can kind of see that obviously the team is working on like these long throws that are very close to the box. 6 games after being hired as Brentford manager, and he schools Ruben Amorim. If that does not say something about the position and the atmosphere at this club, then I don't know. And you know what's the worst part? We got Sutherland. I called for a 2-2 draw versus Sutherland. Oh, but we're at home, Big Phil. So, what's your point? And then, lo and behold, international break, and for some reason, these criminals will show up against Liverpool and get a well-deserved draw, and everything is back to normal. No. At the end of the day, statistics do not tell the entire story.
Nope.
Just watch the game. All you got to do is watch the game of football. Forget the statistics, forget the XG and how many passes completed and how many passes were how many players Bayern found. Bayern kept us from conceding about 3 or 4 goals today, you know. He still made some shit mistakes. By the end of the day, he kept us in the game. Okay? So anyway, that was my alarm going off? Anyway, that was my semi rant. I'm still feeling a bit happy because I came back from vacation in Colombia, and on another podcast I will give you guys some stories, but that's not tonight. Tonight is not the time, any place. So
Before Simeon and Pin on their rant, what their thoughts, right? My apologies. Yeah, Phil and Chef, I know you all haven't been on for a while, so welcome back, guys. You know, it's just the whole, you know. So my apologies. Welcome back, guys.
The rate we going might be longer again, yes?
I may go back on vacation during the international break, yeah. So you never know.
Simeon?
No, I mean, you know, this jersey that I'm wearing right here, you know, when I first saw it, I liked it, but I didn't buy it. You know why? You know why? Because I remember us playing. What was it? Is Brentford we play? That same team we played,
that was the first time we were our kids, and that's Ten Hag first season.
and we get licks bad. And I'll never forget that. I wait 2 years before I buy a jersey because of that. And then I see this new kit. I see this black kit, this nice black and yellow, looking sharp. I say, boy, you know, if this team could play some football, you know. And then fellas bring that kit out, and then men do that, and I'll see myself buying that kit anytime soon. You know, and you just look at this team and you wonder what is the priority with this organization. You know, you wonder how the kids come out nice and clean, and a team could be such a mess. You know, and I've said that, you know, and we've said, you know, you spend all this money on the forwards and you ain't scoring. You know, you neglect the balance of the team. And we've been neglecting the balance of this team for so long. You know, and then fellas can't busting that, and we start paying the I mean, a goalkeeper. How you gonna need a goalkeeper? I'm not buying. They make some good saves. How you gonna need a goalkeeper and bring one in that cast that they cast that over what you have? How you gonna do that? I was, last time I was telling Kareem, I might talk fast. 'Cause I got so much things running through my head right now because this team just. I was telling Kareem like, how you go, are we playing for next year or 2027? Because we making all these moves for players who we don't play. Many don't play. Heaven don't play. Euro have to come off the bench. You know, and people, we say we don't know why Europe, we brought on a defender. Because they realize that, that the other team plan to counterattack. And they can't have Maguire back there trying to get how you gonna wait till the middle of the game to realize that? So you realize once away that your starting lineup, was flawed. So I look at this team, I just feel like I just wonder what's keeping us from making the right football decisions. Like, why we always have this imbalance that we can't explain? Why we have all these things we can't explain with this team? And it's frustrating because it's not a year 2 or year 3. It's like 4 or 5 years we going through the same thing of not knowing what the hell these people doing with the team. I mean, I try to reason with them for us, like, hey, we trying to do X, Y, Z. We go have a team, but where? I mean, I don't understand. I mean, like you said, we play against a team that have a new coach, new players. I mean, we buy their best player, and they're still beating us. I mean, it makes no sense. It's frustrating. I throw my phone. This team, I try not to let bother me, but I throw my phone today, and I'm glad I threw it to the couch because this team, that last goal, that score, really get to me. I say, boy. And then to see them fellas clapping after, clapping to the away fans that were left there. To see Bruno, I mean, the frustration that this team gives you, even when you're trying not to be frustrated, because it's just baffling. Like, how could a team this big, with so much money, involved, you expect a level of professionalism that you just don't see with this team. That's my run today.
Chris,
Yeah, well, as I say, the most important thing in football in a team is your midfield, and this Man United team don't have a midfield. And it was clear to see before we
before you
even.
come in, we just get some of the comments, right?
Oh.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, you could see even before the transfer window and thing, they wanted to fit Bruno into the team, and the only way he was fitting into this team was playing in the midfield too. When they could move on with him and get a midfield, because I think the reason they messed up Amorim yet is because he probably told he wanted that midfielder working, and they didn't get. Because if you look at his stats, this man he had all the bad stats, like literally in terms of, I think he lost more in 33 games he played, he lost more than half. And we ain't win a back-to-back games in how long? And as I say, the midfield is the most important thing, and that is the problem, and it's clear to see. And the thing is, right, if you look, people go say formation and thing, right? But if you look at Crystal Palace second in the league, and Crystal Palace beat Liverpool. Crystal Palace could be 4-0 at halftime. Them Alisson real safe. But when you look at that, the midfielder at Crystal Palace, Wharton is a real good player. He dictating that whole thing. So as I say, Amorim had to know, well, you don't have the players to play this formation. You have to do something else. You can't just be doing the same thing over and over and expecting a change, but that is insanity. So,
but Chris, if you ain't done, I mean, I love the point you make. I'm glad you bring up Crystal Palace because another team that lost some of their best players, but yet they had enough players there to play the system and be effective in the system. and get results because that team's solid. I just feel like why why our team can find players to play a system and we can't find we try to fit players into a system. We out there trying to put a block in a wrong hole, a wrong hole. And we why we are the big team doing that? We have Crystal Palace who could sell players, their best players, and come back with somebody else that could do the job.
Yeah.
But if not, I am so bored of Manchester United. I just there's a little bit of rant there, but not as of previous times. It getting kind of boring now because like
Yeah. I don't know.
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, like I said, you feel so disconnected from this team because like all the ranting we used to do like months ago, like under Ten Hag and under Ole, you're just getting a bit frustrated now because at the end of the day, a different manager comes in, it could be the same shit again. So unless certain players are sold or put on the bench, or some of the players are like, you know what, this is going to be your role. You either have a bench role or you find a different club. Then we are definitely going to see the same thing over and over again. And I can predict within the next 3 or 4 months, all we got to do is load up an All United podcast from, let's say, September, and we just react to it. And that's how it can be going forward.
Yeah, I don't know, Chris, I don't know if you'd finish.
Oh, and our next thing too, we don't even have luck on we side, boy. Like when I was watching that game today, when MMO went down, that was a penalty, right? The rule is if you deny a player of a clear goal scoring opportunity is a red card, right? They take 4 minutes to check that and offside and all kind of thing. I even going to defend Bruno penalty because Bruno take a real shit penalty, but 4 minutes them take, and the decision was still penalty and thing like that could throw off a player. And like I was watching the Liverpool game after. Liverpool scored a goal, and in that goal, Salah hand was up and Salah hand the ball, and VAR didn't even check that. Cunha was fouled in that first goal, and VAR even checked that. Like nothing even going way.
Kristen, you know what you call that? You call that big teams just get calls. Once upon a time, that was us. The whole league that hate us because we used to get all the favorable calls. We are a shit team now. Shit teams don't get the calls. That's just how it is. And it's across the board in every sport. If everybody's watch other sports here or watch other leagues, that's just how it is. We're not going to get calls. As much as it might be unfair, but that's just it, how it is. Sorry to say. We's them teams now what we used to be laughing at.
Yeah, guys, so let me just get some of the comments now, right? King Ivar on the inside, thanks for joining, saying begging Bruno to stay and play as a 6 or 8 is when Ruben sacked himself. All right. Jody on the inside, blessed night to you, man. Thanks for joining. Saying Amorim in. We know he's just trying to trigger people, right? Peter on the inside, good night to you. Thanks for joining. He's saying this shouldn't be an analysis session. It should be a prayer meeting and a therapy session. It doesn't make sense anymore. Very disheartening. Can't disagree with you there, bro. Right? Amorim wants to be sacked. Where's his enthusiasm? Where is his strategy? He always looked despondent. He's either a fraud or just jumped too big for him. I think it's the latter. All right. James on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying he's tired, right? Man United is complete blight after Sir Alex Ferguson. I didn't know what we had to do again, right? You don't know. All right. So bless to you, man. Yeah, maybe if Bruno gets dropped or he actually puts him to play in the 10, right? Maybe then we would have win. Then I feel we would win and win consistent, maybe. No, I don't think it's that. All right. Peterson here, if Amorim says it is not the system, I would freak out. He needs to play our style back for play. He needs to play our style back four, push another mid in there. Yeah, I think the 3-man midfield. Jody saying here, well, it's back to my regular schedule, not going to go out of my way and lose sleep over Man United. All right.
Facts.
Arun on the inside, thanks for joining, man. Good night to you. All right, Richard on the inside, thanks for joining, man. Saying because we are Manchester United, where nothing is as it seems. All right, I used to watch us play to relieve stress, but I feel I had to start smoking weed.
Why rain freeze?
Why you look quiet?
Rain,
And watch you freeze. Look that.
Yeah.
he freeze as the word weed mentioned.
Richard saying here, why Bayern? They're still in the team. God alone knows. All right, and finally, James saying here, Amorim wants Bruno to be a dictator. So when he's nowhere near the ball, when he's nowhere near that, he's a feeder, not one to hold on the midfield. Yeah. So fellas, let me talk about this whole system, and I know me and Kristen will be back and forth with this, right? So I'm gonna let you start, Kristen. Right?
No, but as I say before, right, you had to have a midfield because the last team to win the league playing this formation was Chelsea, right? And that was in 2017, I think. And their most important players was Kante and Matic. They had a solid midfield. And they also had good wing backs. I think playing this formation, you don't have a good midfield and you had the kind of wing backs we have. That's not really going to work. And when you look at it, when we play Casemiro, we display way better than when we play with anybody else in midfield. Like Ugarte was playing today, and to me, I didn't find he had a bad game. I mean, he won the ball and set up the first goal we score, but Ugarte just running and winning the ball. He can't move into the midfield with the ball because he's so weak and he just lose it. And like he only passes to Bruno, and that is it. So like to me, I didn't find he had a bad game, but like that's not what we need. We need somebody who could hold up the ball and move it and stuff like that now. So I think he really had to try a new formation or something. He can't just be doing the same thing over and over and over.
But the argument was, and I mean, I just quoting here, Kristen, it's not the system missing the goals, it's not the system making poor decisions, right? So the conversation I want to have is, because Amorim, the manager, saying when we win is the system, and Chef shot that down, right? Because we just barely win. But when we win is not the system, but when we lose is the system. So where do you all sit on this? Is it the system? Is it the players? Where do you all sit?
No, but just one more thing I'll say. Like, I think we decision making real poor. Because it had a time when Dalo win the ball, right? And he passed to Cunha. That's what led to the goal, right? And the better pass was to Sesko straight through and he'd have a shot. Like, the simple things like that, there's like watching that game, I was like, that's simple. Even when Dogu had knocked into Cunha do a rub on a pass, right? And it ended up being a real good pass. If Dogu go onto that ball, he run and you cross a good ball. This man bad trap the ball. Like the kind of things these players will be doing. Sometimes they want to know if it's really the formation or if the players. Because when you look at we crosses is from the right side and go to the left side, It does never go into the box. And you have a tall striker, like, I don't understand how the formation affecting that. But yeah, that's what I have to say.
Right. So let me just finish the question, right? Yeah. So is it the system? Is it the players? Because, and I'll close the question by saying because we've seen it working with other teams, you know? So go through.
See, head no, I think it's. I mean, for me, it's both. You can't play a system if you don't have the players to play it. I look at this team and we don't have the players to play it at the level that the Premier League demands. They ain't really getting better at it. I look at Dogu, who I kind of hope will have a breakout season, and he's still not at that level yet. He just is not. He has the physical ability, speed, and everything. He just does not have the skill set, the skill and decision making to really affect the game. On the other side, you have Ahmad who, on a good day, you have Ahmad who has all the skill, that doesn't make all the right reads sometimes. I mean, though you have Ahmad, you have Dallo. And we're not going to talk about Dallo at a whole other conversation. So, we don't have the players. If you can't, with this system, if your wingers can't really do anything like today, you can really do too much. And for some reason, you can't pass the ball into the middle of the top of the box, in the middle of the field. I don't know. And what hope do you have? I feel like we don't play the ball to the striker or the 10 in the middle. We always try to go to the right or to the left, and that ain't really working well. It's not often enough to get a good result from going to the sides. But for some reason, we don't play the ball to feet in the middle of the park, especially on top of the box. And it kind of hurt me when Menu tried to do it at the end of the game, when the ball get taken away and it's going to the goal. But we don't have enough variation in attack. We don't have enough build-up play. I want my boy Zirksy to play because he's perfect at, going in the top of the box, cut the ball, and play a 1-2. But once you get close to the goal, he can do, he impotent. But the lack of variation in our forwards or our attack, it's depressing because those wing backs and those midfielders, they can't do enough to really, create great chances. I know we're creating okay chances, but that's mostly from counter attacks and stuff. But for Sesko not to really have enough, you see a striker when he get a ball and he don't know what to do with the ball because he's not used to getting the ball. I was laughing because he get the ball and he looked like, oh, I open. I actually have time. I mean, let's shoot the ball, because he used to, getting the ball there. So I think, it's both the system, and the players, But we know Amarim won't change his system. And what bugs me more is the fact that he's not improving the players. And that's bad enough, but no area on the field you see an improvement. Goalkeeper, not really improving. Bayern there do some good things today, but that's just him being I think that was always there. You look at set pieces. One good thing about Amram being here, and this is a damning what kind of catch me off guard because I wasn't watching this. One thing about Amram being here is he brought his whole team here, his whole coaching staff here, and you ain't seeing the level of improvement from a team that you expect to see from a coach bringing his whole staff. So if Amarim was to get let go tomorrow, he can't be mad. He really can't be upset.
Phil?
I think there's some basics as a football player in today's modern day football you need to do, right? And I don't think some of these players know how to do the basics, or if they do the basics is against a big team, but any other team that's not considered a big team, they're not going to do the basics against, right? I think as a football team,
Phil,
yeah,
come out. I don't mean to cut you, brother. I just want to say something to what you just said there.
yep,
Our team is full of, overfull actually, of international players, right?
correct.
You know, those things what you seen. You know, when they're playing for the national teams, they just do it, right?
Because they can be dropped, chef. Because, for example, any national team has a vast pool of players to choose from. So you play shit, they got at least 4 or 5 other players that they're vying for your position. But continue, yeah.
I started watching just to, because I'm trying to think as a madman, right? And this is because these fellas is premiership players playing for. I started watching these men play for the national teams and them. I never used to really do that. I support England. I just watch England games. I might watch other European games. I started watching our players and them play across Europe, South America, wherever the hell is, just to see if these fellas will be playing that level of shit, you know. Man, you know they don't be doing that, right?
No.
They don't be doing that at all.
Of course not.
All right. Just continue your point, brother. That's all I have to say to that.
Right.
Chef, that Man United jersey heavy, eh? For some of them fellas, it's real heavy.
Well, if something is too heavy, then put it down. Then as long as I put it down. Anyway, in terms of the basics, some of these players don't know when to do the basics, right? But anyway, let's get to the system. A system has to work where the manager has to force the players to work with this system that's implemented. And if you cannot get on board with working with this system, then you need to hold some bench. Now, we can easily say the system is not going to work because of the players, but Ruben Amorim has to say, you know what? These players do not fit my system. Let me get players that will not only fit my system, but also listen to me as well too, right? The sign of also a good manager is that, okay, the tactics that I put out, 3-4-3, it may not work in this specific game. So let me switch up a little bit. And Ruben Amorim is too stubborn to realize that, right? So I don't see Ruben Amorim progressing with these players or this system, but it's almost like a catch-22, right? And it's almost like a recycle sign. You know, players don't do well, system, and then system goes back to players. And I mean, some of these players are too stubborn. And you can't have stubborn players and a stubborn manager. You can't. You just can't, because nothing will ever progress, right? So in terms of if it's the system or the players, it has to be both. And that's just my opinion, right?
Well, Jeff, I think it's a matter of just sticking through and trusting the process and hoping that at some point we break free and it just had a click.
But
I hear people talking this whole Fergie thing now, you know? So I don't know.
But how can you trust a process, or how can you trust a process when you don't see progress? That's the best way I can put it, right?
It is that simple.
When's the last time we win 2 games back to back? Two.
My stance on this has been, I am willing to stick it out if we see little glimmers of progression. Then we get worse on the Amarin, you know. Worse. And not no little worse too. Dog, we were shit. No, dog, we dog shit, dog. Then we get worse. All it is really sit down and take in, boy, These two shit teams played today. Leeds and what's the next one?
Bournemouth.
Who Leeds? Right. That game was better. Dog, I enjoy watching them compared to Manchester United, dog. Manchester United plays no kind of football. And you know what? This Manchester United fans so two-tongue and so wicked, as I call them, because these are the same fans who saying, let me get Amarin time, was who wanted to kill Ten Hag, who wanted to kill Van Hal, who wanted to kill Mourinho because they're playing anti-football. But you hear what? All of them records better than Amarin. Bro, the man played 30-something games, 34-something, so, and have 33 points. Dog, what is that? Dan, what is that? Nah, dog, no. I don't know if it's system, I don't know what, but here's the thing. I reach a stage now. Time for Amarin to go away. I'm not even trying to say, let's give him more time. F that. Time for Amarin to go away. It's not working, brother. Full stop.
I mean, the question becomes, right now it starts to look like the question is, what are the... It's not football anymore. What is finance? It sounds like financial now.
Yeah.
You know, I look at the players and them face this after this game, and I watch how the reaction, and it's the same kind of feeling you get after players kind of give up. You just see like the recognition, like this team ain't going nowhere.
None.
And then you look at and you see coach, and the coach taking the same thing. The coach say, "Boy, I can't do." The coach got his own issues, but there's nothing you see that you can believe that it's going to change, and it just comes down to how much can we stomach, like how much losing and how bad. I'm fearful. We talk about we normally bounce back. We used to bounce back till we stopped bouncing back.
Yeah.
We went to a phase where we bounced back. I don't see any more bounce in this team. I see Bruno Fernandes, the captain, looking like a clown, today, and the man won't get sub. Dallo out there doing Dallo things, and Dallo's still out there. I see no changes to the no changes when things not working.
Simeon, it's simple things. Listen, I'm really not trying to be on the manager, but Simeon, the panel, it is simple things this man doing, just irking me, dog. Like, this going beyond just the starting 11, Tell me what other team all you does watch, or everybody here does watch football, I want to believe, other than Manchester. All any other team, every game, the defenses get interfered with? I don't know no team that does happen to every single game, dog. So you need to be under pressure to understand. Oh, okay, yeah, I need to make thing, bro. I don't know about the man clueless, dog. The man clueless, and I said it today in the Musk group. I don't know what to say again about United. I don't know if it's the kind of connected to what you asked, Scream, if it's the system, is the players, if it's both. But I will say the manager ain't helping. The manager not helping, dog. The man just clueless, dog. Dan, I sit down to listen to that man presser today. And after about 3 minutes, I switch off, because I can't take his voice. You know what his voice is? His voice is like an annoying ex. From the time they started talking, let's get mad one time. Because the English done not good already. So from the time he started talk, I get mad one time and I take off the TV. I don't want to hear you, Jared, because it's just shit you're talking, dog. All the managers and them we had before him. we at least get a manager bounce. We at least, dog, the man here nearly a year yet, and we still waiting for that manager bounce, you know. Amarin literally from day one is shit, you know, and it has not improved, you know, at all, you know. We just getting worse and worse and worse. Remember last year when I did say we lucky if we ain't get relegated? Well, boy, you see this year? I want to see men fight me this year on that, you know, because the way we going right now, I sit down and watch a Sunderland, Bournemouth, these teams and them giving teams pain. Manchester can't even string 5 passes together. Manchester is the only team I know. Mendes, it's like if you're not even when you're training, no coach, when you training and bouncing a ball, a coach just want you just have to be bouncing, and if Manchester players literally stand up and pass that ball, you know, stand up, pass to boom kick. As Christian said, we have no midfield. Our playmakers is literally our defenders. What level of shit is that, dog? What the defenders just be pushing up the ball into the midfield. So now we have no space to do nothing. And then we want Sesko turn into Superman up there. Oh, I fed up, boy. I'm fed up. Go on here, man. I'm fed up. I can't take Manchester again. I think that was my rant I should have started with. I can't take it again. I can't take it.
But let me chime in on this, right? No, we was calling for a manager, you know, with a system and all that jazz, right? But and this is one of the reasons why I was so patient with Amorim last season, because I understood that, you know, the system that you play in, you need specialist players. You know, you might need 11 specialists, but you need, for certain parts of the pitch, you need specialist players, right? So I am thinking that, okay, you're coming into this transfer window, you know, and you're gonna get what you want, so that your system can work, right? We spit in saying adapt to your players last season, because we understand it's something that we wanted to see. We wanted to see a new system. We want to see players adapt, because player power, you know, and all that stuff jazz. This summer came and went, and we did not recruit for a 3-4-3. Kurt, don't tell me if I talking shopping, sir.
No.
Because as far as I am concerned, the most important and crucial areas for 3-4-3 to work is those 4 players in the middle, the 2 wing backs and the 2 midfielders, right? We need wing backs. Look at how, and it's so sad and unfortunate that we reference base is Crystal Palace, right? Look at how Munoz and Mitchell, they'll be bombing up and down that pitch, like if them fellas had 10 lungs, right?
Yep.
Look at the quality and accuracy of them fellas' final balls. Look at when them fellas have the balls on the foot, how confident and assured they look. They don't look like the balls are grenade. Again, Wharton and Hughes. Look at the quality and confidence them fellas have in possession. Look how close together they just play. Wharton not leaving Hughes. Hughes not leaving Wharton. And Wharton had to cover 1.5 miles to Tilly. Understand what I'm saying? Right? We didn't do that. We went for 3 strikers because we want to cover up all the other rubbish that we on the field with goals, not understanding that the goals dependent on the midfield and the wingers in a 3-4-3. So for me, I'm not seeing where this 3-4-3 system has been backed in the transfer window. So why are you expecting me to back that 3-4-3? Why are you supposed to sit down and say the system is not a problem when they did not recruit for the system? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so this is why I am saying, just one thing before I come in. This is why I am saying play to the players that you have, play to their strengths. So if it means that you need to go back to a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, because those are the players that you have to get results and to win time, so that perhaps next summer you can recruit wing backs and better midfielders to probably now start to play your 4-3-4-3. Then if that's what you have to do, then that's what you have to do. Right? Because you have Bruno there going where he wants, and you have Ugarte who can control the ball properly, being left alone in the middle of our park. And the reason why you don't want to play Kobe is because you can't tell Bruno to stay where he's supposed to be. You understand? Then you have Dalot giving away the ball and making stupid passes. Protect the players, protect the quality players that in your team that will help you to win time. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to be here, the man said during preseason that you want to be here for 20 years. So if you want to be here for 20 years, right, then you don't think that it will make sense to win time, play to the players' strengths until you get the players that you want to play how you want to play. So probably next 3 years down the line, you might actually see Man United playing a 3-4-3, doing it efficiently, doing it effectively.
No, it's not.
Right here, right now, we do not have the profiles for that to work effectively and efficiently.
Thank you very much, Reem. It's common sense, Trade. It's not about playing style right now. It's about wins, dog. You have to do what you have to do to win. But if it means, like Aberdeen was saying, telling me today, but if it means you have to play with 5 across the midfield and just hope and chuck on the counter until you can get better, that's what you have to do, dog.
My thing, Chef, is we need players who are not afraid of the ball in this team. You see, Kobe is one. And we don't want to put Kobe in a situation that will expose his weaknesses. So we need 3 men in that midfield. You see Casemiro does shield the defense pretty well. He's an intelligent player. He's not the best, but that's who we have, so that's who we need to use.
Because we have him playing by himself.
Exactly. So you play 3 men in midfield. Casemiro, Kobe is your little more control, dictator in the middle, and then they have Bruno. And that's the 3 right there. And Bruno
midfield.
Protection. We have
I don't know no team.
We have 3 defenders. We have 3 defenders.
I don't know no team that does do successful with having just one midfielder, to control our entire center of our field. I don't know where that is works, dog. It's partnerships, Shred. It's partnerships. And until I know we just want to kill Casemiro and stuff, but dog, he does have to be getting frustrated because this man come from Real Madrid where he know about structure. To be just being by himself there, I mean to say he does do his shit, but yo, God boy, no.
My only thing is this here, right? Let's go to Bruno. I don't, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, and I may be slightly wrong on this here, but I don't know if there's any other football Bruno knows how to play in terms of passing the football, because for some reason Bruno thinks that every ball he plays must be over the top. I don't know if Bruno knows how to keep the ball on the ground. If he does know how to do it, there has been very, 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 very few moments, but everything must be over the top and some Hollywood pass, right? I think when we were discussing the way how Bruno plays football, we would come on a podcast. If Bruno plays well, we would acknowledge it, saying that he was disciplined in this specific fixture. But then we go to the next podcast, and then the next podcast, and the next podcast, and Bruno just turns back into Bruno Fernandes with hoofing the ball over the top and hoping that somebody runs onto it, right? I remember in today's fixture versus Brentford, somebody gave Bruno a wide pass because Bruno was on the wing, right? Bruno miscontrolled it and it went out, and Bruno is blaming the player who gave him the ball, saying that there was a better option. So you miscontrolled the football and it went out, and you blame the player who passed to you for for your misjudgment of the football. And it wasn't like a wide pass. It was just coming. It came straight at Bruno. Bruno miscontrolled it, went out of play, and he's yelling at the player. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me, my guy. You know, I was waiting for Bruno to give an excuse for missing that penalty, because remember when he missed the penalty versus Fulham, he talked about the referee nudged him and did not say sorry. I was waiting for Bruno to say, well, they took too long. They took 4 minutes and they should have only took 2 minutes and the other defender should have been sent off. I was waiting for that today, right? That's Bruno. I don't know if when Casemiro sometimes plays these over-the-top football, it looks kind of strange, because that wasn't the Casemiro I saw at Real Madrid, right? Casemiro win the football, give it to Modric or Cruz, and then they do their thing, right? It will be the odd occasion that Casemiro will look to spray the football when he was at Real Madrid. But for some reason, Casemiro is doing it all here now, winning the football and looking to like dictate play as well too, right? I do agree with regards to, I think Kobe should be playing, I don't want to say higher up, but I think Kobe should be playing above Casemiro, and probably in line with Bruno, right? By the end of the day.
But Phil, for it to be effective, Bruno had to stay. So I don't know what it is with Amorim and this whole pressing, that have Bruno pressing so high, then you have the pressing so high and one transition ball, and you have Maguire running back, and you know he just run like he running in cement. You understand? And you have him running against Thiago.
How you could want to press high and your defenders slow, boy?
Well, there's a next thing too. One to Euro.
And your fastest and, in my opinion, your best defender on the bench.
Again, I asked, do Euro and Kobe have a future at Manchester United? We'll see.
No, but
Go ahead.
like all our points, all making it correct, right? But all of us watch, like when you're playing the bigger teams, the kind of intensity them fellas. What the Chelsea game, the Man City game, what's the intensity them fellas start that game, and what's how they start today? Like how? Like them let's choose that day when they want to play, and I don't know like how you can start after the Chelsea the first 5 minutes against Chelsea, and we got ahead at Dogu had a chance, then the red card, right? You can't you come to Brentford and you have no intensity. Like
I feel them fellas and them just play fantasy football, and they wanted to say Chelsea's not to get no points in that game. I feel so. When they're playing them big teams, yeah, the one they're looking to spoil man fantasy points, because
no, that's why I can't understand that, but like why they not consistent with certain things, and it really hard to understand this side.
I don't know if it's because them fellas overthinking, because they're not comfortable with what they've been asked to do, that they're always second thinking and overthinking, where they're supposed to be, who is the man to mark,
Correct. Correct, Kareem. But that's why we have a 4-week train, right? Right? That's why we have a 4-week
If you watch the game today, Amorim was balling at Dalu to push forward, eh?
That's the boy, though.
No, I know, but he was balling. He still
play whole game. He still play whole game.
Yeah, but Mazraoui out and Ahmad was out there. Really, who did I bring on to play that side?
And this is my problem, Christian. It have players you could adjust, you understand, to play something.
Your formation.
Be inventive.
So like the only
be inventive, not we, Christian. We don't come up with a solution,
So you telling me the only formation you learn to coach is that shit formation that not working, or what? You learn nothing else. So you get all your coaching badges. You had interns at all them clubs and them, and that all you learn to play. So you so defiant.
Look for instance, Christian, right? Brighton, a couple of years ago, they had no right back. and they used to play Caicedo there. You understand? Liverpool, just recently, and I know you guys watch Liverpool plenty. Who was playing right back? Not Soboslai?
Yep.
Yeah, that's one game he played.
Yeah, so then when you tell me about it and nobody else for Dalot, we have to, the manager have to do better, because I've seen where other teams making adjustments and players moving and shifting and filling a role. So I don't want to hear, well, Dalot playing crap, well, but who it have? Nah, come on. Save me that, boy. Save me that. I see plenty different teams play players and them fellas do the work. Means saying that we have to go forward doing that, but come on, man.
The whole culture of club had to change, to be honest.
No, but you see, the thing about it is we have so much new faces in the team, right? So that whole culture talk, I don't know, boy. I don't know, Dread. Let me just get some comments real quick here, fellas. I know Simeon, you wanted to make a comment, right? So let me just get the comments on the new thing, right? Peter saying here, I'm out, guys. God bless. See you all until we win a match. Oh my God, Peter.
Gosh.
He said, "Would come back on and we will pretend that Man United turn a corner, but actually we are roundabout." God, boy. Hey. King Ivor saying, so it's a coaching issue then? I think so. All right. James saying here, all now while we talking, them fellas still out there on the field.
Yep.
All right. Jody saying here, it doesn't matter who come in as a manager, same results you're gonna get, chef. We're from Jose to Ole to Ragnick to Ten Hag. Now you want Amorim out. The man not clueless. It's the toxic environment. Look at the majority of players that left and how they're excelling in their new club. All right.
Then what players is being, that is a point Mendes making, that players just leave Manchester and excel. Well, really and truly, Mendo is these days who excelling. Rashford, what he do to himself.
I don't think you could. I don't think that's an excel. For me, I will
Thank
measure
you. That
excel.
never excel.
Yeah, for me, I will measure excel
Anthony.
when
The main player who that was fall under McTominay reach 15 in Canada or something like that.
No, all right, let me just allow me to just bring some context, right? Could I? Right. So Rashford, I wouldn't say Rashford excelling until Barcelona sign him, right? Barcelona sign him no permanent, right? And that's real iffy right now.
It's very
bad games, and Barcelona could pull out, right? So until Barcelona sign Rashford, that's no excel. Anthony has not been excelling, right? Anthony doing okay. Yeah, Anthony doing okay. Right?
This week against what the name?
Forest.
Yeah,
Forest. He was okay.
Yeah, and I
He
watched
okay.
But he was okay. And I see the thing about it, we just read stats and see men score.
That's what I'm telling you, that's what I'm telling you, dog. Men don't watch games, boy. Men don't watch games. Men just read stats and then come to quote shit to me, dog. So telling me men excelling. Excelling what? So all right. So then that is that. Who else it have?
No, but let me touch on McTominay, because since Kristen bring him up, right? McTominay, Napoli had one game a week in the Serie A, right? One game a week, and they are one of the better teams in the Serie A, right? And this man was playing well. But
Reeb, when McTominay went there, they came from first, they went 10th. Then when he went there, and he was one of the top scorers in the league, and he went a Serie A player this season. You cannot say that was excellent.
No. I'm not saying no, but I want to bring context, right? Because Napoli have a very, very good team, right? McTominay went to that team very, very early, right? 10 games is very early. You understand? And that team started to do well. I'm not taking nothing away from him. But you watch at how McTominay performs in the Champions League now, right? When they're playing proper teams, week in, week out, right? Hoyland went there and scoring the first game. He's second.
And what happened since?
Against City. Invisible. The Italians call him Casper, right? The ghost. The third game, he get pulled off. The striker who come on score, and that's how Napoli win the game. All you save me that Excel.
No, but what I said, McTominay, when he excel, he's probably the only one who excel.
Right, so, well, then you can't use it. You can't broad brush the term and ball all the players who live in Excel.
No, that's what I said. The point I'm making, the only player who they can say excel is McTominay.
And that's our anomaly. Because all the rest of them average.
Average.
But McTominay didn't play that position here. I don't know why. I mean, he can't really say McTominay. McTominay didn't play that position here. A totally
he
different
was playing out of position. He was playing defensive, yeah. But you could see McTominay have good finishing ability, and then when they push him closer to the goal. When Tana was to send him on as a sub to score, he was to score. He have good movement and thing. And when you look back, when he was an academy player, he was a striker. So Conte actually playing him at where he go excel, not playing him CDM and thing because he's not a CDM.
Yeah, true. But McTominay level ain't there. At the end of the day, McTominay level ain't there. They play the kind of football you want to play. The man can finish with the best at the best times. But during a game, that man can't control a ball. He can't play 1-2 well enough. He can't help you break down, very good teams. I mean, I just feel like he's one of them players who...
Simeon?
Yeah.
Simeon? Don't say nothing. They're in Champions League. We go see what go on.
We go see.
You see all your two-tongue evil Manchester United fans? I'm not saying nothing. I wish Scott is a player I like. But we go see what happened in Champions League. Let me see if Napoli even making that next round of Champions League. We go see.
No, but the point is, he's the only one who literally leave, and because he was Serie A, he went Serie A player this season. I think he was one of the top scorers in the league, the top scoring midfielder in the league. So you can't say he wasn't good for them or wasn't good in the Serie A. I mean, the Serie A flawed and Prem. He would excel, but what I say, he's the only one you can say excel. I don't think Anthony excelling or Rashford scored 2 goals and how much? That's in the Champions League he scored.
No, but Rashford doing well. I don't want to take nothing away from players who doing well, but use the term excel. I think we
happy for him. We happy for him. We happy for him.
And I'm not fighting him, But as Reem rightfully say, and that is how Reem does think. Reem does think analytical. He put it into context. But we don't like to put nothing into context. We just like to run with things. So, big up to Scotty. Let me see what go on now. You're playing in Champions League, number 15 in Ballon d'Or.
And this I mean this whole McTominay thing, like you brought a good point. Like we used to rush McTominay out there to score goals for us at the end of the game because our system ain't working, or we can't have a good enough attacking, formation or formula to break down teams. That's exactly what we don't need. This is why I get vexed when I see Maguire come on. It's kind of like we look for some kind of shortcut, always some kind of gimmick to, I mean, yeah, you want to score a goal, but let us, let me break down a defense no more way now.
Flurry master, come to talk some shit now, eh? Go ahead. Go ahead.
No.
I'm a partner. Let him talk.
Come on, weird time too.
No. You see, all the fellas, they're so accustomed, and I will keep saying it again, Alex Ferguson spoil Manchester United fans now. You understand? And all you only looking as soon, I'm not saying you can't call out when man having bad game, and very far and in between he had good games. You understand? But you can't keep wanting to keep changing, man. All yourself was on this podcast and was laughing at Chelsea, how much 1,000 managers did they change in 10 years' time, or how much is that? Whether it was 25 managers or whatever, or they want to go down that same road. You understand? Or they want to go down that same road. Yeah. 1 year, it will work, get he out. You understand? But all you fail to realize is the environment them fellas and them in boy. The environment. I never say all the players excellent when they leave, you know. But if you look at how they free, how they play themselves, you understand? Rashford, McTominay, Lukaku, Anthony, Ronaldo, well, Pogba gonna do his sharpness. You understand? If you think about the players and them that leave Manchester United when the environment was toxic, all of them find some sort of peace and playing and enjoying the football, dog. Tell me which player in Manchester right now does enjoy playing football, or it does look like they enjoy playing football. Not one. So clearly, it's the environment that they're in. You understand?
So Jody, my question to you is because again, I don't know it. I'm asking, what is the environment? That everybody, because everybody, you're not the first person I've heard say that. That is the environment, because it had to be something deeper. So you tell me.
I'm gonna tell you where's the environment, chef. Manchester United fans, dog.
No,
you understand? It's the fans. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why the fans, because the fans split. The fans and them split. You understand?
What was the reason? What's the reason the fans split?
Let me tell you something.
Listen. Well, wait now. Let me give me a chance to talk.
No,
is
let me
the
just
fans split?
Let me just say something. Right?
Listen.
The expectation at Man United is different from the expectations at other clubs. Right?
True.
You will make a bad pass. Let me finish. You will make a bad pass for Napoli, and nobody care about that. Nobody is saying nothing, and you move on to the next pass. At Man United, them dissecting that pass. If after that game you go out for thing to drink, you in front page. That's not happening nowhere else, partner.
All right, and let me tell you why I see the Man United fans split, right? Because the toxic environment is being caused by the media. You understand? Now, when you think about it, Manchester United still, at the worst, is still one of the biggest clubs in the world. You understand? And everybody on the panel know that the media does dig in. They don't just wait for Manchester United to flop up because they didn't dig in on them last week when they beat Chelsea. You understand? They didn't dig in on them when they beat Chelsea. They didn't dig in on them when they beat was Burnley 3-2 or whoever they did beat 3-2. You understand? But they dig in on them when they lost to Man City, when they lost to Grimsby, when they lost to Brentford, when they lost to Arsenal. They're digging on them, and despite we still play good against Arsenal, they're still digging on Manchester United. So when the media digging in, where they're putting the fans now, it's are the ones who so die hard on believing what the media is saying. You understand? And making the environment, when I talk about the environment, Manchester United, so toxic that every player in today does live on social media. So when you as a player now on social media seeing fans digging in on you, media digging in on you, how you going outside there and perform, dog? How you going outside there and perform? You understand? America play a 5-4-1, a 4-4-2, a 4-3-3, a 4-2-2. He could do what he want. You understand? The players and them is in a toxic environment and they're still not going and perform. So they could say Bruno out, Dalo out, Mino out, Euro out, this one out. It doesn't matter whoever come in, they come in into a toxic environment, though. You understand?
And this is where I might want to disagree with you, because you can't say the environment toxic if the noise is outside the club, right? Because
that's why I confuse about.
That thing at the past, dog. That's why I confuse about.
I get so confused as well too.
No, but that noise on the outside of the club, you could say that by telling all everything is on media and social, is on the media and social media now. So it's not like back in the 90s. You understand? You had to read a front page or back page of our people, but now as you pop your phone is this one bashing this one, that one bashing, they're bringing down the players on them. You understand? And all getting them time to breathe properly, dog. All not getting the players time to breathe properly. So manager come, manager go, you're going to get the same set of results, dog.
Jody, players at Real Madrid, at City, at Liverpool, at Chelsea, them are not under them pressures. It's only Manchester United fans.
It's only Manchester United fans.
Jody, you're talking madman thing. You're
No,
talking,
actually,
I allow you, yes, my dog, and I allow you, dog, but big to big, you're talking real, lad,
no. You see. All you have to look at it
Nah,
on a
no, you
deeper
can't,
level.
brother.
You see. All you
You
only want
said,
to judge it. All you only want to watch what going on that field, but all you not seeing what causing what to go on the field. You understand? All you not considering what causing them and them to perform like that on the field is Amorim because of the system, because of what?
because I want to be, I go and use your point, right? I want to believe. You see, Manchester United fans is some of the greatest fans in the world because we watching a shit team for years. And you know what? We right there with them. We ain't going a place and we cause a toxic environment. That had to be madness.
You feel Real Madrid fans singing Xabi Alonso name if he can get back to back
What?
wins
Let me
after a year?
Let me dig deeper. Manchester United Football Club is lucky they are not in a country like Colombia and Argentina and some of these American places, even go across the Celtic and Rangers. Manchester United is lucky they are a club established in the country of England. You can imagine if Manchester United was performing this way in Colombia and El Salvador and Argentina.
And this is why I come back to say, despite our only mess days, they still consider one of the biggest club in the world.
Because of the fan base.
Correct.
It's the fan base have that team where they still.
And this is what I tell you, the fan base split with it's the ones who want Amarin in right now, and it's the ones who want Amarin out. It's the fans who want certain players in now, and it's the fans who want certain players out.
Chad,
But
I can't talk for everybody
Tell
else.
me,
You see, for me,
all right, you're talking. Tell me which fan base in Real Madrid want this player out or that player out, or what the manager out. Tell me which fan base.
No, but
that for Real Madrid fans that want Ancelotti out.
No, but Jody, what I'm saying, right, is we might know, the intrinsic fan, splits in different clubs like that because we don't follow it like that. I mean,
no.
Right?
Rim came out. Me and you had this kind of conversation way before the season start, right? And we was talking about ins and out for the club, right? Yes, all you want, and when I mean all you, I mean we the fans want to see a stronger midfield. We is not the manager. The manager probably building from the front, coming to the back. We don't read that is his style. It's about our managers go build from the back to the front. You understand? So I don't know what is his style when coming to that. But all you want to shoot down the man just so one time. Yes, 37 game, blah, blah, blah.
Jody, that's the whole thing about it. We did not want to shoot him down just so. Jody, this fan was backing Dan when everybody else, all other fans was sick of Amarin. Dan is we've been backing Amarin wholeheartedly.
Right. Chef, listen to me. We as the fans wanted to see certain players exit, right? We get some of them out, and we still want to see it have certain players need to leave the club. You understand? It's so happening. It didn't happen in this transfer window. We didn't get all the players out, but we get certain players who did not want to be at the club out. So all you can't be shooting on the man one time, dog. You understand?
No.
All you can't want to shoot down the man because the man able a team to suit his style of playing as yet. And I understand all the ball and change the style you want to play. You understand? But if that is not the man's style, he rather lose the managerial job than to change his style of playing, and he see that. So all you can't vex with the man for that.
And that makes sense.
Watch me. At the end of the day, let me tell you something. At the end of the day, if he lose his job in the morning, he go to our next club and do good, and our next manager will come in and we go still be shit. We go still be shit, dog.
Jody, but I'm gonna say, right? No, but Jody,
my point is,
Jody, let me just say something now. Let me say something with that, just as a response to what you're saying there, right? No, we want to, we could all agree that Manchester United is one of the worst assembled teams in the history of football, right? We could agree to that, right? Nice.
Agree.
So he could go to our next club, and they can have players who might be able to play the wing back positions more effectively and efficiently. It might have players in that club that might be able to play in the midfield 2 role more effectively and efficiently. You understand what I'm saying? So to say that he will go to our next club and do good is an indictment on us. Might be a kind of unfair statement. Simply because
he could also
our
go to our
team-
next. He could also go to our next club and do a 10 hag and get fired after 2 weeks. What are you talking about?
No, but let me just
I'm
understand
not
the
saying
point I'm
no.
making.
I'm not saying
Understand the
no,
point
but
I'm
what?
making.
But my point,
Jody,
the point I'm making is he leave and next manager come in. Is the same problem he going to end up with? All you realize it is like a pattern, dog. It's a pattern. It's a pattern that's following me right now.
But
So all you
but
go just keep changing manager.
Jody,
every year and a
I
half, 2
agree
years,
with
all you
you.
changing our manager.
But
Every
Jody,
2.5
the
every 2
pattern
years, all
normally
you changing
is.
manager then.
But Jody, the
So
pattern normally is that we don't show some kind of improvement. Jody, we haven't showed no improvement. None.
What improvement? New manager bounce improvement for 5 games. Come now, man. Come now. It was
Jody,
it on that only.
we didn't
was
get
it on
even
that.
5 games. We
Well,
didn't
that
even
was-
get
that-
5
that-
games. Jody,
that-
we get a back-to-back win since Amarin Dano.
I understand all of that, and I know all of that.
Jody, it had to as much as I with you that you can't be changing managers all the time. So that I agree with you there. But it has standards, dog. It had to have standards.
I still was saying earlier on, the so-called new names, the media don't start to push again. Is the media going to start to push it? You understand? Is Crystal Palace manager. You feel he going to come there and do good? He going to do the same set of mess going to take place?
Yeah, but
what
Jody,
going on there right now?
All right, we want to move on from this because we had to wrap it up, right? So let me just
Wrap it
say
up.
this, right? Let me just say this. You have to understand the expectation. Man United has been one of the most successful clubs in English football history, right? And it's have a reason why one of our banners, they say hated, adored, never ignored. It's simply because as much with all the success we've had, people don't like we, right? They don't like me. So let me finish, Jody. Let me finish. You understand? So whatever we do will always have a lot of news. Will always have a lot of all kind of thing go follow everything that we do as a club. You understand? This is what I'm telling you. That is why Rashford, right? Rashford could go in a club after a game and make front page, but Grealish could get drunk and nobody gives a shit about that. You understand what I'm saying? It's not about.
Let me tell you why.
Let me finish.
Because Grealish and them know we're not trouble, dog.
But
they didn't know we're not trouble.
Grealish has not been playing. Grealish has not been playing.
What Rashford have done? Really and truly, think about it.
Grealish has not been playing for City.
Come on, Jody. When that thing come up with Jody,
the point is, hear me out now. The point is, the attention that Manchester United faces is unlike any other club. So the pressure to play for Manchester United is different. The microscope on your performance. Let me finish now, bro. The microscope is different on each player than every other club. I don't even think Real Madrid globally is getting the kind of attention Manchester United is getting. You understand what I'm saying? So that's external pressure is what the players have to deal with. Internally, I do not think it is toxic. I think a lot of the players that would have been contributing to the whole toxicity in the club, like Garnacho and so forth and so on, those fellas are no longer there. You understand what I'm saying? Let me finish. Amarim.
Reem, at the duck out and all, right, brother? We gonna talk later.
For sure. Yeah, Amarim, with his own mouth, said, we need to win time. You have to find a way to win time.
And this is what I'm saying. All you not getting the man the chance now to win the time. All you not getting
almost a year and the man went back-to-back games, Jody.
Man. Whether or not a whole year win back-to-back games, whatever. Rome wasn't built in a day, dog. All you doing like Manchester United. All you doing like Manchester United up there, dog. We not up there. We not up there. All you had to come down from there. All you had to come down. Watch me.
And them fellas win back-to-back games, right?
Listen to me, Reem. All you had to come from up there, dog. All you had to come down. All your way up there. All you had to come down. Come down to the level that Manchester United is. And that is the reality. All you cannot take, dog. That is the reality. You cannot take we not up there. So don't come and tell me about we had to win 5 games on our bounce or back-to-back game. We not up there to do that right now. So let's come down from up there and get the money time, dog.
So we had to come down from them get relegated then. We had to get relegated then. Because if we can't win back-to-back games, Jody, then we got to get relegated.
It will be the first time in the club history.
Nah, miss know that. I don't like that. I accept
no. All you had to come down. What me? Listen, all you put in Manchester United on a pedestal that they are not on. You understand? They're not on that.
I'm not saying we're the league. But let me win 2 games in our bounce now.
Yeah, but Rome wasn't built in a day, dog.
That don't mean we can win 2 games. That don't mean we can win 3 games.
So what if for the next 10 games we win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1, and then all of a sudden we come and win 3 games on our bunks, then lose 1, then we start to develop our winning mentality. You see, only looking at
that's no expectation. That's wishful thinking, Jody. Right? Because the record does not show what you say there, right? I'm looking. My sample size is over more than 10 months.
Dog, it's over more. But we talk about over 10 months. It's over more than 10 years, dog. So you had to come down from up there. I was trying to tell earlier. Come down from up there, dog.
Nobody's saying that we have to win the league.
Dog, watch me. You had to come down from up there because when Man U win a game, all you up there. When Man U lost a game, all you still trying to be up there, dog. You can't be up there. You can't be up there.
Nah. All right. Well, we well extended on the time. Jody had to come on the pod earlier, please, brother. Right? Can't come when we almost done. I want to extend. We long.
No. Remember, you know what going on, man. You know what going on.
Yeah. I know we talked that.
So you know, I'm sorry for jumping so late, but I will try to make time for the next one. Hopefully, everything will be good by then, Byrie.
Yeah, man.
Things looking up. Things getting better and thing right now. So
yeah. Well, you will go keep more up to date, right? And let me know if
yeah, bro. Yeah. Fellas, I'll have a blessed one. And you know I will always come to chuck the Jepness.
Let me just get these last comments and let me wrap it, guys. All right. We have Jerome Foster on the inside coming late on the back end, right? He's saying Amorim falling to the curse, right? The men who starting and playing shouldn't even be at the club. His leadership group have players like Dalot who shouldn't even be there. Dalot is a professional footballer. Anyone can do it. Even Bruno, I done with. All right, 2 games now, he missed a crucial penalty. This game starts with men wanting to be home. Only some teams, these men are up for the fight against, no matter formation. If you don't play with fight, you lose already. All right. He also saying Bruno clearly whining about having to play centre mid, and it shows he not doing his duties, whether letting players like ESR and Foden score without challenge, right? That is Smith Rowe. Or not taking penalties right, no matter how long you have to wait. Maguire was offside. Maguire and offside trap don't mix. Ruben will be sacked because he won't adapt to the next manager, and the next manager will go through the same cycle until some of these players are moved on. And the club serious about rebuilding. These players mentally weak. Jody is right in a sense. Ahmad had to delete his account because he exchanged his jersey. Some of these players can't handle the pressure of wearing the shirt. We've seen it about 5 years now. Pressure at United different from Madrid, PSG, Chelsea, and elsewhere. The club failing for years, and them men can't handle being the ones who need to bring it back up. They can't handle the microscope. All them other big clubs more successful, and it's not the fans digging them. All right. How Shaw, Maguire, and Dalot in a backline for us now 5 years after Ole. Yeah, but for real. Right, Amorim is the first manager who decided he not accommodating the players, and this is what we get. The senior players can't adapt. Eric learned that the hard way. Drop your system to accommodate these players, and it won't last far. I would encourage you, Jerome, to just go back and watch back. In the early when we talk about this, right? I think it's not the players, but I think it's the club who fail Amorim, right? Don't drop it. And they don't try, despite supposedly being pros. Culture messed up. All right. club not toxic internally, but them players can't handle the external pressure. I will state this: we will not win a title with Bruno. Bookmark that, right? Phil on Facebook, he had to jump off, right? But I think, guys, let me get some closing thoughts on the to wrap it now. Christian?
We had a hope. We had to wait. When they lost, we had to wait a whole week to decide again. And then they go win one, and then they go back and lose one. And like, that's how it's going. But at the end of the day, I'm not hammering out yet because, as I say, the culture, the club is, we've been, since this person retired, we haven't been winning, and players have been coming here for a paycheck and a payday. And since the new scheme, they're trying to run out of that. If you look at the how much revenue they brought in, I think it actually went up. I mean, they fire staff and stuff like that, but they're trying to get rid of the players that was here for the past 10 years and they're still here. They get rid of some of them already. So it's basically we just had to be hoping Amarin teams had to click and the goals had to go in, we had to win. Because I don't think they're going to fire him just yet because I think he have to make a year before they can fire him, else they go owe him plenty money. And yeah, we gotta wait and see what goes on. As I say, we gotta wait next week again.
Cillian?
I mean, we talk about Amarim, but you know, I know Amarim ain't going nowhere until he has to really lose. That's what scares me. He has to really lose more games by worse margins, and and it could happen. I mean, it could happen. I mean, the way they look today, it could happen. My issue with Amarim is having seen the last few managers that came here, knowing what it takes to, do you know what it takes for your system to work? As a manager, you should know what it will take for your system to work. And if you knew you can't get that from this club, why even come here? If you knew in the first window what if you didn't know what your budget would be or what the key positions your system needs to be effective in the Premier League, and he says, there are things behind the scene that I'm like, we can't see behind the scenes. We can't see what you're dealing with, Amram. We only know what you tell us. We don't really hear from anybody else on the board. What we see is mostly what you tell us and what we see on the field. So when the team look bad, yeah, we go look at you because we manager. So years of pressure, be the coach of United is a pressure playing for Man United. But at the end of the day, you're getting paid to do a job, and we expect it to be done. Otherwise, why even here?
Yeah. Jody, you wanna close with any comments?
Hey, relax, what are you doing?
Okay. All right. I know Joy, you wanna close. Joy, you wanna close with any comments or?
But what me like I say, you just have to get him on time, but you understand? That is my personal opinion on it. Get him on time to build whatever squad you want to build, how you want to build it, and let me see how it goes from there. You understand? But I'm not going to be bringing down the man one time because the season start off shaky. You understand? At the end of the day, I look at it as, yes, we lost opportunity to jump the table because other teams who was within the area lost. You understand? Or draw, where we could jump the table. But me looking at it as that. I looking at it as, let me take my time and build. If we had to finish 10th again this season, dog, but we had to build something, or we just can't be jumping from one manager to the next manager, from one manager to the next manager, and we coming on this podcast and complaining about the same thing over and over again.
But Joey, them men he relying on ain't gonna give him 10th, they'll give him 15th.
Yeah,
And
but Simeon,
17.
but just to close it off, right? The thing about it is, a new manager come in, he was some of them players again. So it is the same thing over again. We have to wait till our next transfer window for he to get in his players and blah blah blah, la 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 la. You know how it goes. You understand? So that is why I say you can't just come and jump on the boat, you want the man out one time. Because whoever come in will not be the same problem again though. He don't want this player or he don't want this set of players, and that is how it will not be. Full circle again.
Yeah. Um, for me, I really think the narrative before was the players wasn't good enough. And while it might be true in some aspects, I think the players who are not good enough, Amrim is the ones who Amrim relying on. But the team, for me, the team that been constructed a little too good to be this bad, right? And I respectfully hear Jody point in terms of trusting the process, but
Rim, not just cut it out. Just one thing is, I telling you, if Amorim play Bruno in the correct position, we go see a big difference. Though. And all you talk about it earlier.
Yeah. So we're talking about trust the process, but we can't be so blind to the whole trust the process narrative that we're not seeing what's happening in reality. And I mean, while some people might think we need to get relegated to come down from there, it's not something any owner was sitting and let happen in for the sake of rebuilding, right? And trusting the process. So Amram had to figure it out. I mean, I don't lose a lot of faith in Amram already, right? But Amram had to figure it out. And that's just how I see it. Crystal make the point we could come and win against Sunderland, but you don't know where you're gonna get after that. And I mean,
one in, one out.
No forward thinking owner go be satisfied with that. Let me just play it that way. So anyway, guys, I think that brings us to the end of the pod, which I think was it was good. And Jody come and bring some nice little fire.
It really balances stress.
Yeah, Jody come and bring some fire. But I mean, it was good. It was good. It's good to come and blow some steam. So Kristen, Simeon, I know Phil and Chef who had to leave. And Jody, guys, thanks for coming.
Yeah, you get up no 7 o'clock to watch no game again. I know that for sure.
Yeah, we know next time you're getting up same way. Same way.
No, but hey, that is a curse between us. They say any early morning game with the cross. And you see on the commentator, we lost to Brentford 4-3 last season. Before that, as the game started, he started that thing. I don't get vexed already, boy. I find something that commentator that is heavy and brighter.
But don't worry, but watch it. It got reach to the point where the commentators and the officials are going to start to feel sorry for we, and things will start to go away. Don't worry.
Right. Anyway, fellas. So it was
boy, bro. Yeah, we go let up. Yeah.